Welcome to Generation Iron and the Mike O'Hearn Show. I'm excited about this youngster. I'm excited about the Olympia, and this is one of those youngsters that's going to be stepping on stage. He won his pro card on the North American. Then he went on to, the New York Pro, crushed that. Went on to the Arnold, and the Arnold's huge to me because it just always reminded me of the kid that won the Arnold. Was a big talk going into the Mr. Olympia. And so Nick Walker went in and won the Arnold Classic. And if they call it that anymore, or they call it something else, it's still the Arnold Classic to me. And now is getting ready for the Mr. Olympia. 9 weeks away. I guess about 8 weeks by the time you guys see this. But I am excited to bring this kid on and talk to him about his lifting, his life, and how he got here. So let's get going. This is the Mike O'Hearn Show. Can we get a bigger camera for you?
I wish.
I'm just kidding, man. You're a freaking monster. Man. How you feeling today? Did you get your workout in?
No, I'm going to work out after this, actually.
All right. So let me see if I can't pump you up a little bit, but you don't even need me pumping you up. You're already fired up. Yeah, and the world is talking about you.
Huh?
The world is talking about you.
Yeah.
How you dealing with that?
Last year, man, it was a lot easier. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but this year it's been a little bit of a mental battle. But I'm doing good now.
I mean, obviously, most of the stuff I hear is always great. He's a beast. He's a monster. And for me, I'm an old school guy. I'm probably older than your dad and your grandfather combined. So there's an old school mentality that I don't think kids understand today, is that even Frank Zane, even these guys that they think didn't lift heavy, lifted heavy and were strong. Mostly back then, because those guys were all everybody kind of power lifted back in the golden era. Everybody lifted, they weren't lifting to like just the bodies. They wanted to be beasts.
Of course.
The full package and stuff. And so I love that you and some other guys that are out there now kind of bringing that old school back, that old school mentality of going in, putting the work in with the heavy iron.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much how I was raised. I do use machines more so than I did when I was younger. But back when I was younger, it was just all free weight. We didn't really care for machines much. You take a barbell and you can do anything you want with it.
What was it that started you lifting?
There was many factors that played a role. The main one was when I was molested when I was younger. So growing up, I got into, like I said, I explained this before. I got into a lot of fights, became a very angry individual, got into, hard drugs when I was younger. And I knew, again, if, my life kept going down that route, I would probably, not be here or in jail of some sort. So I just had to take a long, hard look in the mirror one day, and, I had to make a change. And that's, I started to competing. I mean, working out was a way to escape everything for me. But that can only go so long. It's only 2 hours out of your day of a distraction, but the rest of the day you just, it is what it is. But I knew I was hurting many people around me, my family, my friends, and like I said, I just had to take a hard look in the mirror and realize what I was doing was not who I am, and I couldn't let something like that control me and dictate what my future would be. So I decided to, start competing and take down that, path and see how it went. And, I feel like it did me pretty well.
How old were you when the trauma happened? How old were you at that age?
I was 12.
And when did you, because I mean, again, you're such a pup at 12. I mean, I don't want to say it, things happen like that, mostly at that age. And to think that you found something maybe on your own or something to take out aggression or to deal with what happened is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think kids understand that today. It's like we grow up with incidents like that, and to be able to pull yourself out and use the trauma in favor of making a better you, that's a huge. If anybody's out there listening to this kind of stuff, what would you say to them? What could Nick say to these kids out there that are dealing with something, maybe not even as extreme as that, because that's heavy, man. That finishes people.
Well, I've had friends that I know that not the same thing happened, but they've gone through certain traumas in their life and they couldn't snap out of it. And it took them down a very dark path, whether that have been going to prison, or suicide of some sort. And it sucks that people feel like they can't go to someone for help, or they can't find ways to help themselves, and they feel like they hit that low of a point that they feel useless. And it's sad. It really is sad.
So with the support crew around you, who was that? Who was the support that supported you on this venture of bodybuilding?
The two main people were my mother and father, man. Since day one, I told them I wanted to compete. My father was on board because he competed a little bit when he was younger. He was big into the lifting weights and stuff, so he liked it. My mother wasn't the biggest fan of it when I started. She didn't really understand too much about it, but now, as she's seen, I enjoyed it more. And then I started to win, and then I started to really progress. And the more that happened, the more on board she got. And now she does interviews every time she's at a show. Now she critiques all the posing. She thinks she's a judge. It's funny. It's awesome.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, no, it's awesome that I'm able to have parents that support it the way they do. They have not missed a single show that I've done my entire life.
That's a cool thing. And I don't, again, it's the support crew around you, mostly for bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is such a, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but it's a very selfish kind of time taking thing. And to have that support crew around you going, I understand the imbalance of balance.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get ready for a show. There's going to be a complete imbalance because you have to go beyond what a human can do.
Exactly.
And to have the support.
Stands it to a T now, literally. Like, she knows when I'm like, now being 9 weeks out, she knows like to not really, talk to me as much, She knows I like my alone time and to relax. But no, she's great, man. She loves it. Like, I mean, when I used to live at home, she used to like every morning I'd wake her up at like 7 a.m. I'm like, I need to take my pictures, and she'd take my picture, and she would look at them herself and be like, I don't like the way this looks. We got to redo it. Like, she was very into it. Very into it.
Man, I'm going to make note of that because I want to circle back around that somebody at your levels taking pictures, taking notes, taking that kind of stuff, because I think newbies think, that's silly. I know what I'm doing. I know what I look like. Where,
no.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan had a coach.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, I don't understand the beginners today, or the eating. A beginner's like 10 years of training for me, in my opinion. You don't really find it.
A lot of the newbies, they think they know it all, and they don't need the help. And you don't understand. You may not notice it, but you could look different in just a week. You could look different in 2 days. Like, you don't notice it until you take a picture and be like, oh, I look different today.
How many times does a mirror lie to you?
Every day.
Doesn't it? Man, you think you're looking a certain way. You're looking in the mirror going, oh, I'm going to walk. This is, and then you see photos and you're like, who is that?
Yep.
So what is that to you? What is that? Is that a realization, or just a continuous of, I'm still in the process. I'm still working. I need somebody else's voice outside telling me what to baby step to do.
Yeah. I mean, I've always now that me and Matt are back together, I look at myself in the mirror every day pretty much, and I send him the photos, and he'll critique it as best as he can. And he'll let me know, like, you look fine. You look good. And sometimes in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I look that good. And he's like, you're fine. Just relax. You're good. So sometimes it takes like, you know, having a coach or even, you know, just a friend that's going to be real with you, just to tell you like, oh, you're good. Or even if you're not good, you know, like you need someone to be real with you no matter what.
They're talking about you in a great light that I see. That just this kid that's focused, trains like a savage, a warrior, a barbarian, which I love. And you got vision. You got your clear laser vision on this next 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
With you, as you're getting ready for this, how do you keep yourself in check? How do you keep yourself
like
just
focused?
Yeah, I guess focused with the noise, because that's noise.
It is a lot of noise. Honestly, I take it all in, but I also, I don't want this to sound negative, but I also take it with a grain of salt. You know, I enjoy.
To me, that sounds smart.
I enjoy all the compliments. I enjoy everything, the positivity, but I also know anything can happen when you get on that stage. Anything can happen within the 9 weeks of you leading into the stage. So I take it, I embrace it, but it doesn't stop me from what I do. And as far as like all the negativity goes, I just block it all out. You know, I don't pay attention to none of it. I read it, I see it all. You know, I'm not blinded to it, you know, but why would I let things affect me of the, you know, people making comments that have no idea who I am as an individual? And at the end of the day, I also knew coming into this sport, it's a very critical sport. Everyone will criticize you to the fullest. You could be perfect, but there will be people that will find something wrong with you no matter what. You could have the perfect physique, and they can be like, oh, well, his nose is crooked. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, there's always going to be something. So you just have to be the best you can be, control what you can control, and just let the places fall where they fall.
If anybody's listening to this and they go, well, you should just take the compliments and ignore the negative. I understand society saying that,
yeah.
But as soon as you start just taking one side and letting it fill your head, which isn't a healthy thing, because it really comes down to you and what you want and what you believe. And take the compliments; they're very kind, but you should never get too high and never get too low from the negative comments.
Of course, absolutely.
To stay with it, because it's end of the day, they're nice, but they're as quick as they came, as quick as they leave.
Well, it's just like, you know, everyone thinks, that's another thing. A lot of people think what I've done was an overnight success, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I became a pro, I won New York, I won the Arnold, top out Olympia. Sure, you can look at it in that perspective as I became a pro, but people don't know how long it took me to get to where I am today. I started competing when I was 17 years old. I finally turned pro at 25, 26 years old. You know, it was a long journey to finally get there. But when I finally achieved that goal, I made sure I was a pro caliber ready. So that way, it's like I didn't turn pro and I'm like, I'm gonna take a couple years off, like most people do, and like, you know, and grow up. I was ready. I made sure when I turned pro, I'm ready, and that's what I did.
Well, and you were around what age when you first started lifting?
Oh, I was 13.
13. Okay, so there was a short transition from trauma and into finding your meditation, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
in a sense. And then from that, you trained until you were 17. So they don't even realize there was already 4 years of good stuff to step on it.
Overnight, you know, a lot of years of hard work. Even then, like before I even competed, even from the age of 13 to 17 when I graduated high school, my mother couldn't believe the sacrifices I was making for something that I didn't even know was going to be real. Like I would, you know, as bad as it may sound to some people, I would skip some family events just to work out. I would do this because I knew there was an end goal for me. Whether I knew it was going to happen or not, I'm an all-in person. No matter what I do, I go all in. And I knew, studying and watching other people, that this is a certain sport that requires a lot more dedication than any other sport does. So I read that and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going all in with it. And that's just what I did.
I love that approach. And I love that you did it at that young age. It's a good mindset to have at that young age, because you could just do, you know, most kids in their, you know, teens and 20s are playing and having fun and their continuous response is, well, I'm young, it's supposed to be fun. Where you're like, oh, I'll have fun after I create a future for me. And you just did that.
In my mind, when you're in your early ages, early 20s, this is the time to build your legacy, build your future. And then when you're, in your 30s, 40s, whatever, 50s, whatever it is, that's when you're done. You can relax. Now you have the rest of your life. You have fun too early. Now you're going to be working for the rest of your life.
You don't ever have to apologize, in my opinion, to anybody about skipping family events as a teenager or even in your 20s, because of the fact that it's like Kobe did. It's like he didn't go to parties. He didn't do that stuff. He set himself up for a future. And again, tomorrow's not promised to anyone, but you're living truly a passionate life on something that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
And that's really living life then, because you're not going to 9 to 5 to do something else. You're living a fun life.
I'm doing exactly what I dreamed of doing the moment I started competing.
And think of the bond that you have now with your folks too, that they go and they support this and they get to see that young kid.
I remember after the Arnold, I won. I pulled them on the stage, and it was awesome.
I think that's an incredible transformation from where it could have gone to what it did go to.
I'll say this now: if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today, for sure.
What are they doing now to help support you? Because I know that's a huge thing. You can't do this on your own at this level.
My mom's just happy she don't have to cook my food anymore. No, well, now that I live in Florida, they're still in Jersey. I FaceTime my mom probably every single day, once a day, maybe sometimes twice a day. And we just talk, we don't, sometimes we talk about bodybuilding. Sometimes we just talk about how her day was, things like that. My mother's always been the person. It's actually, me and my mother are the exact same person. We're very stubborn. We're both very hard-headed. So one end, we can have a very good, soothing conversation. And then on the other end, we can have a very harsh, stressful conversation that doesn't end well. But she's also the only person that I could argue with, and then 5 minutes later, we're laughing about something completely off topic. I can say my mom's probably my best friend at this point. So I go to her for a lot of things, even though 9 times out of 10, I know what I go to her for. I probably won't like the answer, but I still go to her just because I want her opinion. And she's always been that one person that always would just shoot me straight no matter what. Whether I'm right, wrong, it doesn't matter. She always will shoot me straight.
I think that's the best thing to have around you, mostly in your corner, just someone that just shoots you straight like that. And that's great that it's your mom.
Of course, I agree. Yeah.
It's your family. As training is going right now for you, how do you feel this prep is going relative to others?
I'll be honest. This one was definitely a rocky start. With a lot of the changes that I had this year that happened to me, it was mentally, it was hard, and I felt like I was off to a very slow, rocky start. Then me and Matt linked back up at 12 weeks out. And now I feel like I'm really rolling now. I feel like we're where we need to be. We're in a good spot for 9 weeks out. I don't feel I'm behind. I don't necessarily feel I'm ahead. But I think for 9 weeks out, I'm exactly where I need to be. And now my body is really, it's starting to get in a groove. So at this point, my body's just going to take off now.
How long you been in Florida now?
2 years, 2020.
And you made it through the craziness down there?
The hurricane,
just everything. This last couple of years have been absolutely.
Well, yeah. So that was funny. So even when we just had that hurricane hit, so me and Matt, that's when we kind of started to reconnect a little bit. And he said, "Hey, why don't you come down on Wednesday or something? We'll have a nice talk, whatever, work our things out." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And fortunately, that was when the hurricane was coming. I'm like, I can come, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back. So he just said, stay at the house for a few days, and that'll be that. So I stayed at his house. We spent a lot of time together within those few days, and we just, it just felt natural, and I felt comfortable. And with a lot of my past traumas, it's unfortunately some things do carry on to who I am now. And I don't trust people very easily whatsoever. I don't That's just not who I am. And he was probably one of the only people that came into my life, and when we started working together in 2019, that I just kind of immediately trusted. And I don't do that too often with people. And he knows my body to a T. He knows how to keep me calm. He knows, so it was just natural, you know.
It's a good fit to have.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody you trust fully like that.
And he's a great coach, and I'll say this to the end. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter how good they are, right? It doesn't matter if I had Hani coach me or Chad or Chris. If there's no connection there, I don't feel it'll work. It doesn't matter how good of a coach. If you just guys don't mesh too well, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. So with Matt, he's not only a good coach, but we just have that bond that you can't break it.
Does he make it fun for you, or is it just hard work?
Oh, it's fun, especially when we get to the shows, right? The Olympias, the Arnolds, the New York Pro, whatever shows we do. It's business, but we also mess around. We have fun because we know to a degree the work's done at that point. Like, yeah. Kind of whatever he says. Now this is the final week. Whatever choices Matt makes, that's up to him. But at that point, it's just we're having fun, we're chilling, we're bonding, training, relaxing. And it's just a good time at that point.
I love it. And when here's something everybody's gonna ask about, and I try to explain this too, is the heavy weights, is that necessary for you? Or can you get what you get? Because you're strong. You're a strong boy. Yeah. There's a couple of you guys that are just I love watching just because I love taking those things for a ride, those big weights.
Of course.
So is the weights a hiccup for you or a crutch, or is it necessary? What's your take on heavy weights?
Well, it depends. Are we talking heavy weight for like a set of 3 reps or a heavy weight for a set of 10 reps?
Well, I think you and I will agree that we could do those heavy weights for 10, with somebody else's competition meat weight, we're repping it.
Like last week, when I ended my hamstring workout with deadlifts and I did, 495 for 10, I think it's necessary. Could I have gone lighter and maybe, got a better contraction? Sure. But I contracted enough to where I believe it got the job done. And it's just fun. It's cool, to end it.
I wanted you to say it more than I wanted to say it, because I don't think people realize, for some of us, we like the competition. We like to do the battle. We like to get in the arena. But there's something about the weights and us training a certain way is fun for us. It's not an ego thing. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just
like, I don't lift as heavy. Like, I'll be honest, I don't lift exactly as heavy as I used to. Like, when I was younger, I'm talking like I'm young now, but
yeah,
I was like 24, I'd say 23. I used to barbell shoulder press, 405 for a set of 8 to 10. I can't even touch that now because I haven't done it in forever. But there was a time when I inclined dumbbells to 225s for a set of 6. Did I really feel it in my chest? Did I contract? No, I'll be honest. No, I didn't. I was just trying to move that shit from A to B. But it was just fun to do because I could do it, But I also had to learn, being a bodybuilder, not so much a power lifter. It's, you have to be a little smarter, contract the muscle as hard as you can. So I did have to lower the weight a little bit. But it's still, the way I do it, I'm sure if you watch me train, it's hard, but it is heavy. It's not light,
Don't you think it's important to lift the way you want to lift because it's fun and that's what's going to keep you doing it?
Of course. Or like me learning how everything just went, how I train and how I had to transition into something a little bit different, just because, like I said, I am a bodybuilder and I had to, get the most out of the muscle I'm hitting. I train that way, but I also like to end the workout with something I thoroughly enjoy. And that's, to me, I get the best of both worlds, to where I'm doing my job, but I'm also doing something I enjoy at the same time.
I call that leash off. It's like my dogs when they want to play or something, you know,
Yep.
you're pulling them back by their necks because and then just leash off. Go to town, hit the 200s for 20 reps, whatever it is.
Like a dumbbell row. You just grip and rip a pair of 200s and just go, have fun. You know, it's okay. Once in a while, it's not going to kill you. You know.
I agree. Right now, with it being 9 weeks out, I'm not going to assume that you're eating high calories. Can you talk about your calorie intake right now and how you break up your meals?
I don't know. See, I don't know exactly the calories per se, but I'd say carbs right now is probably around 300, 350 for me, I would say. Fats are, I'd say, around 40 to 50 grams a day. And protein, it's about 224 grams a meal. So I don't know, what's that, like 8 ounces?
Is your fats coming from fatty proteins?
I have 3 beef meals a day, and 2 of the other meals have 20 grams of almond butter in it.
Nice. I love it. So because you're taking in a good amount of protein throughout the day, a good amount of carbs, mostly for 9 weeks out. I love that you got that kind of fuel going in the system still.
And now, like I said, now my body's, you know, really starting to just take off now. Because that's the thing, right? When you're in a good routine, your sleep's good, your cardio, you're killing it, your training's good, your schedule's where it needs to be, your body will just flourish. And that's what I pride myself on. I let nothing take me out of my schedule, no matter what it is. If I have to rearrange a certain meal or like a workout for it, that's no big deal. But like the day itself remains the same no matter what. I will eat at the same time. I go to bed at the same time. I wake up at the same time. Cardio at the same. Everything is the same time no matter what.
Schedule, man. I love that because I love that. I'm the same way. I like the schedule. Does that help you? And when you go off season, do you stay on a schedule or do you go, forget it, let's party, let's have fun, let's go crazy?
Or I'll say I'm more lenient to a degree, but I still maintain a pretty good schedule in the off season no matter what.
You're a pro now, and you're not just a pro.
Yeah.
I
never miss a meal, no matter
never.
What. I'll stay up till 3 a.m. if I have to. I won't miss a meal.
I love that. I love. They keep thinking it's about the training, not the nutrition.
Like 3 a.m. right? And you're tired, and I'm not really that hungry. I'll just drink a shake or something, blend some oats with some protein powder, drink it, and go to bed. But I'll never miss a meal, no matter what.
Why is that so important to you about missing a meal? Can't you just skip some meals here and there?
You can't. Honestly, I think where I'm at now, I probably could and be fine. But mentally, I won't be happy. You know, it's part of who I am. I have to get that meal in, no matter what. And I think that's a mental thing. Some people are okay with missing meals, and that's fine. But I also feel missing meal takes away from progress, and I won't let that happen.
Wow, that's you know, you always kind of go into these things as, you know, he's a pro bodybuilder. He's getting ready for this. How did he get there? What was the transition from whatever he did in school to getting on stage? And like you guys say, you know, overnight success, not an overnight success. You know, he was already training for 4 years before he even got on stage as a 17-year-old. He's a good kid. And again, man, props to him talking about the traumas that he's gone through in life. And if you guys are out there, man, you know, my trauma is dyslexia and reading, which is actually, I think, one of the best things that could have happened to me because it showed me a path. And what the trauma that happened to him is, I find it, man, irritating. Is it beyond belief that somebody would do that to somebody's son, women, children, whatever. It's just it's an ugly thing, but it happens. But if you're out there, man, look at him and how he made it through, and reach out to him. If you're dealing with something and you're out there and you're like, I have a friend, introduce him and make him follow and talk to him. Maybe I'll guarantee this kid is willing to talk to you guys out there if you're going through some kind of trauma like that. And it doesn't need to be the same trauma, just any kind of life trauma. Kids are rough. You know, life is rough. but don't give up on it, man. This kid's making a great future for himself, and coming off the Arnold, winning that and walking into this, I'm excited to see what he's going to do there. And I guarantee he's going to make some noise. These newbies that are coming in there, man, I'm excited about seeing these guys next to, for me, to see new blood next to the guys that are winning and crushing it. It's always fun to see those two. And to me, it's an art piece. So to see this kind of art piece next to last year's winners, man, it's a fun thing. So Mr. Olympia this year, be there. I will be there. Titan will be there. Striker will be there. Mona will be there. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. Again, this is the Mike O'Hearn Show on Generation Iron. We are bringing you gold again. This is knocked out of the ballpark. We'll be back next week with my boy Stan Efferding, and we'll be talking about something that I wish you guys would listen to: joint health. This is one of those big things that I want you guys to be able to make sure that, yes, your body's good and your levels are good and everything's good, but you got to take care of the bodies, because regardless of you guys thinking that, oh, all you have to do is a little TRT or something, it's the full body. It's the full body, or you're not going to train. But again, Mike O'Hearn, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day.